I wanted to push the 6600M that came with my Omen 16 to its max, just to see what it was capable of. So I hooked it up to my TV and benchmarked a bunch of games in 4K and 1440p. This right here is Shadow of the Tomb Raider on ultra settings at 4K. Average of 26 FPS. Probably not playable, but that's still pretty impressive for an entry-level / mid-tier graphics card. The Omen 16 will come with the Quad HD or 1440p resolution option eventually. So you can look at these benchmarks that I did on my external monitor. Just to give you an idea, you'll probably get around 5 to 10% lower if you're using the laptop's display. But Shadow of the Tomb Raider here on ultra settings, we get 64, which is still highly playable, especially for like a open world game like this. Playing Far Cry 5 on ultra settings, we get 42 frames per second, and if we bump it down to high, we get 44 frames per second, and that good 1% low there you see of 37 means this will definitely be reasonably playable. Ultra settings at 1440p, we get a very respectable 85 frames per second. Switching over to Grand Theft Auto 5, a little bit of an older, not quite as demanding game. On 4K, even with all the settings maxed out, we're still averaging around 60 frames per second, so I didn't even test 1440p. And finally here, take a look at Battlefield 5. And this is a lot of longer footage, just so you can take a look at the clock speeds and how it performs if you want in detail at these different settings. Starting off at 4K with all the settings turned, graphic settings to max, we get an average of like 30 frames per second, which might be okay, but you see those 1% lows we're getting, it ends up coming up to like 5, makes it definitely unplayable.
Mir gefällt das nicht. Sei stark, Hartmann. Verfolg einfach deine Befehle. Ich sehe eine Panzerfaust. Nicht gut. Nicht gut. Wir werden es nicht schaffen. Wie kommen Sie voran, Kerz? Bereich gesichert. Anton 1 an Oberkommando. Schienen sind frei von Feinden.
Gute Arbeit, Anton 1. Wir wussten gegen einen Ziel. Da haben Sie keine Chance. Rücken Sie jetzt auf der Hauptstraße vor und helfen Sie der Infanterie.
Auf zur Hauptstraße, Kerz.
Los!
Still playing at 4K, but turning all the settings down a notch to around high. We see a most playable experience, averaging about 40 frames per second and 1% loads of 21.
Sherman, Sie rücken vor. Sherman, da! Guter Schuss! Schröder, normal! Scheiße! Feuer erwidert, Schröder!
Das war's. Die Panzer sind erledigt.
Die hätten keine Chance gegen uns.
Wir sind noch nicht fertig. Wir müssen alle Amerikaner...
Right here, I actually paused it to add the cooling pad to it. It doesn't actually throttle. We can see we're still getting around that 130 watts, but it was getting really toasty. And obviously this is pushing the laptop to its absolute max. So personally, I think it's nice to see that although it's warm, it's still not above the maximum recommended temperatures, and it's nice that there's no throttle.
Zerstören wir ihre Verteidigungen.
Treffer bestätigt. Ziel zerstört. Verdammt! Panzerfaust! Sie fliehen! Die haben wohl schon einen Tiger gesehen, hä?
Artillerie! Anton 1, schalten Sie die Artilleriestellungen auf dem Hauptplatz aus. Ich wiederhole, alle Artilleriestellungen müssen zerstört werden.
Befehl bestätigen, Hartmann.
Jawohl. Oberkommando hier, Anton 1. Befehl bestätigt. Rücken jetzt zum Ziel vor.
Da ist die Artillerie.
Wir haben hier eine Menge Gegner, Kommandant. Gnade ist Schwäche. Ich werde meine Mutter stolz machen. Bestätigt den Treffer. Da steht eine verdammte Kanone. nicht. Das war verdammt knapp.
Alle verbliebenen Panzereinheiten. Rücken Sie zum Sammelpunkt vor und attackieren Sie alle Feindeinheiten, denen Sie begegnen.
Was war das?
Feuer! Feuer!
At 1440p or Quad HD, I forgot to get footage, I guess, of playing Battlefield 5 at Ultra, but just one notch down at high settings. It's extremely playable. I would even play online with frame rates like this, averaging 86 and getting a low of 75. And especially on my 60Hz TV, this is great, which is what I'm testing on right here. So this will be the last of my footage on the Omen 16 and the 6600M. I would love to get my hands on the Legion 5 that's going to have a 6600M, but you can't even order one right now, and if I would have ordered one, it would have taken 2 months to get here. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do.